Hello and welcome to the Lads Talk podcast. You're listening to Sadiq, and once again I'm joined by Danyal and Jamie. Garris, unfortunately, is engrossed with the boxing
I'm
today,
back.
but he will be with us
I'm
next
back.
episode. As you can hear, Jamie is back. Most people missed him last week, if not all people. We hope you're enjoying his short, which is on YouTube. You should go watch it right now.
I love it.
And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you go and subscribe. We've hit 22 subscribers. Okay, guys, I think we've hit a big milestone here. 22 subscribers. What do you guys think? Excellent. Amazing. Jamie, what do you think? 22 subscribers.
When is the money rolling in? Forget the subscribers, man.
Listen, subscribers.
It's payday, man.
Listen, we don't do this for money. We do this for enjoyment and good vibes.
Clearly.
Don't forget your roots, brother. Stay humble. Anyway, Jamie, Jamie, how are you feeling?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, and how did it feel to miss being exposed, narrowly being exposed?
Absolutely loved it, thank you.
Yeah.
Dodged a bullet.
So we missed. Yeah, you did dodge a bullet. We missed you last week, and we missed some of your. Well, you missed some of the questions that we asked. Yeah. So wanted to start off because today's topic, we're obviously going to be talking about the differences in, our cultures, I guess, or upbringing, or beliefs. But just before that, what advice would you give to your year 7, year 9, and year 11?
Oh, that's a good one.
Let's hear that.
For those 3 years, what advice would I give them? To speak up more, be a bit more brave.
Is that year 7?
All of them. All of the above.
Okay.
Be a bit more brave, speak up, and to not be so scared, I guess.
Especially of the people that have beards, you know?
And to avoid being forced into friendships, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So is that that's the same advice you give for yourself in all 3 stages, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. All 3.
Oh, fair
Even
enough,
the last 2
fair
as well,
enough.
all 5.
What last 2?
Year 7, 8, year 9, year 10, and year 11.
College.
Oh, 8 and 10 as well.
What? Should we just...
Fair enough. Daniel's math is still awful. It's been a
What?
week. He hasn't fixed up. Year 8 and year 10.
Wait. I'm half asleep now.
This is going
Yo.
to be a shambles. This is
Expose
gonna
my
be a shambles.
mess. I'm a civil engineer, okay?
Civil
paper,
engineer,
so-
brother. This civil
No.
engineer doesn't know maths. This is, guys, you are listening. Everyone listening right now, you're listening to absolute quality education here. But anyway,
Online learning does it.
but anyway, let's move on. Last week, I kind of touched upon it, and I forgot to mention this thing. But today I promise not to forget. But it was to do with our kind of upbringing in terms of our beliefs. Yeah. And obviously, I mentioned last week that I went to an Islamic private school. Jamie mentioned on the phone that he went to a public boys' school, and Daniel mentioned he went to a public mixed school. And obviously, just unless you guys want me to say it for you, but what is your background? So I'm asking, what is your ethnicity and what is your religious background? So Jamie, go on.
I am white, British, and I'm
Atheist. And Daniel?
You can solve them.
Okay, Daniel,
Already know.
everyone should know. You know what? Comment down below. Then no, I'm joking. everyone should know what.
Yeah, let them guess.
They don't need to guess. They just need to go to last episode and type it in. But you know what? We're gonna give you 5 seconds.
can be
to
a good
comment
show.
down below what Daniel's ethnicity is. Okay. I don't have the patience for 5 seconds, so I'm going to tell you. Daniel is Pakistani, and his religious belief is he's a Shia Muslim.
What? Think back right now. Wait.
And his religious belief is he's a Muslim. He's Sunni. If you want, listen. You asked me to speak for you, so I had to just go off the rails a bit. Look, brother, we have to welcome diversity here, okay? But anyway, and I am Asian Bangladeshi. ethnicity, and I'm a Sunni Muslim as well. If Garis was here, he would tell you that he is Tamil, Sri Lankan, Asian, Tut, and he is a Christian. I'm not sure which sect of Christianity he's from, but he's Christian. We do know this. So the reason why I bring this up is because we all obviously experience different things as we grew up, and we're experiencing different things now. And we often have this conversation with each other. Even recently we have, but looking at each other, it's quite obvious that we all believe and kind of live our lives in a way which is very different to each other. Even though, like, for example, Daniel is Muslim, right? And I'm also Muslim, and we follow the same school of thought. It's called, yeah, school of thought means the same kind of rules in, because religion, sometimes they divide into different sects, right? And when they divide, they start following different kind of rules, I guess you could say, or practices. That's the better word, practices. So even then you'll see a couple of differences between me and Daniel. Even though we're literally the same, there's still one or two minor differences. Yeah,
You're
but
still not exactly
it doesn't
the
change
same.
anything. It's not exactly the same.
It's
There's
still different.
minor little changes. But for example, between me and Jamie, or Daniel and Gareth, there will be humongous
Significant
differences, right?
changes and differences, yes.
100%. So Jamie, I'll start with you, because you actually brought this up, right?
I did.
So what is for you? What's kind of, when you look at me and Daniel or Gareth, as an atheist person, or even as a British white person, what's the first difference that you notice in how we live?
Your religion, how you're very strong believers, and you take it very, very seriously, and you pray almost very regimentally at the exact times, without fail. You'll get it done, no matter what.
But I missed. Did you say regimentally, like in a regime,
Yeah.
like a schedule?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know how many times we pray, by the way, a day?
Is it 4 or 5?
Yeah, 5. We pray.
5.
Yeah,
MashaAllah, brother Jamil, welcome. Well, yeah, we pray 5 times a day at different times of the day. So like when you see that, for you in your head, like the way you perceive it, for example, like when you wake up in the morning, you don't pray, right?
No.
What's the first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning?
Tea and breakfast.
Tea and breakfast, right? No, genuinely, yeah. What tea and breakfast? To be honest, Daniel, yeah, let's be honest. There's so many Muslims, yeah. That's probably the same thing for them, right? Those who aren't practicing or those who don't pray, they probably think tea and breakfast first thing in the morning too. But for me personally, the first thing I think about in the morning is I need to get up. I need to go do. It's called wudu. Wudu means like ablution. Ablution means I keep saying words. I need to translate. Ablution means like ritual washing. So we wash, and it's a type of, Daniel, what's the best way to describe it? It's a type of like process you have to do before praying. You clean yourself.
Cleansing your body.
So it's like you're cleansing yourself, you're cleaning yourself before, you're purifying yourself before you pray. So that's the first thing I think of, and then I go pray, and then obviously breakfast, breakfast, or the morning routine stuff starts. So Danielle, what about you? Like, what does your day start like?
I wake up and I think about bacon and baked beans.
Yeah, turkey bacon, mashallah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, mashallah. Bacon and yeah, that's it pretty much.
No, for real. How does your day start?
Basically, it's try to wake up for Fajr and put like 70 alarms first of all, because
Yeah.
yeah, I'm lazy nowadays. I don't know why. But
wait, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah? Do you guys, when you do your alarms, do you do this? There's 7:01, 7:05, 7:10, 7:15, 7:20. You're like, you know what? There's gonna be one of these alarms. They're gonna hit differently, and I'm gonna wake up. One of these alarms is gonna come from an angel. And it's gonna wake me up. Like Jamie, I'm sure you can relate. Like maybe for work or something, you set alarms, yeah. And do you do that?
No, just the one.
Just the one. Oh, this guy's from military, man. 100% military.
I don't get up. I'm not admitting I get up, but I only set the one alarm.
Oh, and you wake up.
Yeah, my fear is my alarm.
You know, you say that, yeah. Danielle, have you ever done this? You know, like when you keep, or even Jamie, when you think about, I have to wake up at that time, and you don't set an alarm, but you wake up.
Yeah.
No.
I make intention, for example, I can't miss Fajr, or in Ramadan, it's like, I can't
Yeah,
miss,
stuff like that.
you know, Sehri, yeah, or Suhoor, or Fotabala, yeah, for the Bengalis. Like, I can't miss it,
Fotabala.
and yeah, Fotabala, yeah, so I can't miss it, and so I make intention that I have to wake up at that specific time, and I end up waking up. Have you guys never done that?
Yeah.
No, I've never done that.
Oh, Daniel, this guy, he
You
sleeps
got the
too much,
same
man.
superpowers.
Superpowers?
You superpowers, man.
No, it's not superpowers, man. I think it's just like Jamie, like he wakes up with one alarm. I'm sure it's kind of like a discipline thing, or like a habit. You create a habit for yourself.
Yeah.
But moving on, like, so Jamie, when you look at something like that, like you wake, we wait, for example, in when we stayed over, right? You woke
Yeah.
up and you saw like
That's
us
a good
two.
example.
We get up and we start praying. Yeah. For you,
Yeah.
in your head, when you process that, like, what are you thinking when you look at us?
Nothing really. I'm just used to it now. Just get up and do your thing. Not that I ignore you, but it's just like, oh, they're doing their normal thing, so let them get on with it, and I go and do my own thing, sort myself out. It's not a surprise to me anymore because I'm used to it. Put it that way.
When was the first time you saw us pray? Was it that when we went to the park, that that hilly park?
I think even before that, when we came over that first time, you done it at your
Oh
flat.
yes, yeah.
I guess there, yeah, that first time we stayed over.
What was your, like, in your head? What was your reaction to that?
Honestly, there was no reaction. Again, I knew what you already are. I knew what you was doing, so it's no reaction really.
Oh, fair. And but do you like ever question that? You know, what did they get out of it, or you know, what are they thinking? Do you ever question that? Is for you? It's more
Yeah.
okay. What do
Yeah, I
you
would
think?
think, like you said, like, what are you thinking? Why are you doing it? What is the? Well, I know the.
Intention?
The intention behind it. Yeah, I know why you're doing it. You're praying to your God and making wishes, or just praying to send love to Him, I guess, and praise Him and all that.
Yeah, glorify, praise,
Yeah,
thank.
yeah.
Danielle, do you want to elaborate? Yeah, when you pray Salah, for example, when you pray the prayers, what do you think about? What's the point of it for you?
What's the point of it? Wait, geez, let me think, yo. Me and Jamie had this convo a long time ago. How, basically, for example, asking, yeah, like for something from a person. After a while, yeah, they get tired of like, let's say, yeah, ask you for money and stuff. Yeah, at one point you're gonna be like, oh yeah, this guy's getting annoying and stuff. But you could, yeah, it does make sense, no?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but then you go to God, yeah, you can ask for whatever you want, and it's like that's the
Whatever
only
you want,
person,
whenever you want.
not even person, but like that's the only
Being.
being.
Yep. Yeah, being.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. That gives you love, yeah, no matter what. You can just like mistreat them and still,
Where you said, I know what you said,
yeah,
yeah, like mistreat them, meaning ignore, neglect them, yeah?
yeah, neglect them and still they send you
He
love,
has
innit?
unconditional love for you, no matter what.
Exactly,
He will be there for you, love
unconditional.
you, and support you, no matter what,
It's like
good
often
and bad.
we say that you know, our mom loves us the most, right? And you know, arguably you do whatever you want, but your mom will always be kind of reset their emotions to kind of love you and be the same, right? But with Allah, or with God, it's unconditional. There's no such thing as having to reset. It's always just there, right? And specifically in Islam, if Gareth was here, it would have been nice about the Christian side as well, but specifically in Islam, um like God has different names, Jamie. So he has different names, and these names aren't just like, you know how you're Jamie, I'm Sadiq, and that's Daniel, and that's Gareth.
Yeah.
His names are his kind of attributes. It's like superpowers, if you want to look at it in a very simplified way. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like Ar-Rahman. Yeah. I think that means the most merciful, right? So only he can be the most merciful. He's the only one capable of showing absolute mercy, right? And you guys know what mercy means, right? Like letting
Forgiveness.
Yeah.
forgiveness, letting people off. I guess, to put it really simply, yeah. You know, Jamie, if someone's done something wrong to you, yeah, like the absolute
Yeah.
worst wrong to you, are you able to just
Yeah.
let it go straight away like
No.
that? If the guy
Still haven't.
instantly says, you know, I'm really sorry, I take it back, I shouldn't have done that, instantly, would you be able to let it go?
Quicker than someone not doing it straight away. Yeah.
Basically, it wouldn't take you long, right? That's what you're saying.
No, if they done it straight away and the significance of what they done to me, then it will depend on how quick or not I forgive them and move on.
Brilliant. So for
But
you,
how many
it's-
times are you gonna forgive them?
so I was gonna ask that. How many times are you
I
gonna forgive them?
always
One.
give them about maybe 3. After that, no more, no matter what.
So you have three, like a 3-strike rule, yeah?
3.
Not only that,
Yeah.
before the 3-strike rule, you were saying, well, it depends on the severity of what they done to me, etc. Like you have
Yeah.
conditions, basically, right?
Yeah.
Cool. But Allah or God, He has no conditions. It's I am the meaning God said He's the most merciful. There's no one who can be more forgiving and like letting go of things than Him, right? So
Yeah.
that's just one. There's other ones like let me think.
Oh, there's stuff similar to that with Christians. Something
Uh-huh.
I do know about that similar, saying God's benevolent, omnipotent. It's
Yep.
like He's all loving, all powerful, and all knowing. I don't know what the all knowing one, but there's benevolent and omnipotent.
Omniscient is all knowing.
Omniscient. That's it.
Yeah.
So
So-
all knowing, all loving, and all
Even all seeing, all hearing,
seeing. Yeah,
right?
yeah. Them
All
sort of things.
forgiving. So like these attributes, when we think about God, Muslims, Christians, and people of faith, let's just say, when you think about God, you think about these what they names, right? Names, attributes, and you think
Yeah, you can call them names.
names, yeah, names and attributes, and you think, you know what, like that's the being who I I turn to when I need help. So I think the point was, Danielle was like, when you ask someone for a favor, it only takes a couple of times until they get bored of giving you favors, and they're like, well, what do I get back in return, right? And God isn't like that. With God, it's, I've put you on this earth to worship me, get on with your life, do good, make sure you're a good person, but you just worship me. And that's it. We've only been asked to worship Him 5 times a day, to be honest. And like, for me, this is personal. When I think about how many things God's given me, 5 times doesn't even feel like enough. Do you know what I mean? Like you have a headache, yeah? You have a headache. Can you even get on with your day with a headache? Look at Danielle's example. Danielle, when you had a headache earlier today, what did you do? Conked out for 4 hours, innit? It's knockout. So with
Yeah.
that, do you know what I mean? Like one tiny thing is messed up. One tiny thing is, loose, I guess, in your life, and you can't get on with the day, right? But how many times of the day do we spend without a headache? And how much do we recognize that? Do you get where I'm coming from? I'm doing a lot of talking, but I want to say a story about that, actually. There's a story I've learned like ages ago. Do you guys want to hear it, or should I?
Yeah.
No one cares. Moving on.
All right, so let me say the story. Just shout up, Daniel, man. All right, let me say the story. So there was this. He was like a leader of the people. This is a real story, by the way. Yeah. So there's this man called King. He was a king, and his name was Harun Rashid. Yeah. And he had, because he's a king, he has servants, and he has these assistants, should we call them? And what happened? This one servant one day, he said, can you grab me some water? Okay. So the servant grabs a cup of water and brings it to him, and he says to him, before I give you this cup of water, can I ask you a question? So the king says, okay, go on, ask me a question. So he says, if this was the last cup of water on earth, and there was not a single drop of water left anywhere, how much would you sacrifice to have this cup of water? He said, I'll give away half of my kingdom, half of my treasures and everything. Half of it would be gone. So the servant says, okay, that's a good answer. He gives him the cup of water. So the king drinks the cup of water and he hands the cup back. And then the servant says, can I ask you one more question? He goes, okay, go on, ask me a question. He goes, that cup of water that you just drank is going to go through your body, right? But let's pretend there's a mysterious kind of deadly illness that stops you from passing that water through your body, meaning you can't, use the toilet. You can't let the water out of your system. You guys with me, yeah?
Yeah.
So let's say you can't pass that water out of your body. How much would you pay in order for doctors or whoever to be able to solve this issue for you? He said, I would give away the other half of my kingdom. Then the servant turns around. He says to King Harun Rashid, he says, for 1 cup of water, you sacrificed your entire kingdom and everything you own. How many cups of water do you have every single day? And if you think about that, it's like, you think about your clothes, you think about food, you think about drink, and you're like I have all of these things, yeah, all of these things that I benefit from and I love, and it makes my life easy. But how many times do we reflect on like who put that there, right? Who made that available for me? Why is it so free for me? And how come there's someone else out there in the world who doesn't have that, right? And you start questioning like these things. And for a Muslim, obviously, Jamie, for you, it's a different mindset. Like your brain is thinking in a different way, and I would love to hear like how it works for you, right? But for me personally, it's like I have too much to be thankful for. So I have to pray. I can't miss a prayer. Do you know what I mean? I would rather bench my blanket in the morning and lift that up rather than lifting at the gym the night before, because I need to wake up and pray that morning prayer. Do you know what I mean? So I can be grateful, so I can, be thankful for what I have. But that's me as a Muslim. That's, I think, because of how I was brought up as well, the school I went to and things like that. That's more instilled in me. Whereas there's Muslims out there, maybe someone's listening right now, they're like, well, I'm not like that, and maybe they'll feel bad about it, or maybe they'll feel guilty about it. But it's not about feeling guilty. It's about, you have this connection that you develop, right? And we can go on about how to do that another time. But yeah, that's just how I feel. Jamie, for you, what is it like for you when I talk about being thankful to someone we've not seen, someone we can't hear, someone we can't smell, or we have no knowledge of? What does that say to your brain? Like, I'm thanking someone that I have no proof of that they exist in that way, physical proof in front of me. What does that say for you in your brain? I know I've just hit you with a loaded question, by the way. Yeah, take your time.
Put me on the spot, can't I?
No, take your time. It's genuinely quite interesting. Like I know Danielle said you two already spoke about this before, right? Extensively, but yeah, it's just like a curious thing. Do you know what I mean, Danielle? Like it's because for us, it's like we were born with kind of this. What's the word I'm looking for? We were born with this. Not knowledge. You can't be born with that knowledge. You're born with this belief. Yeah, you're born with this belief, and you're instilled with, like, since a young age. You're like, yeah, Allah did this, Allah did that, Allah. And for someone like Jamie, any non-Muslim person or non-religious person, yeah, for them it's like they've never heard that until later on in their life. So it's much more difficult. Do you know what I mean? Of what you think, what they think. So genuinely, Jamie, like the fact that you're taking time is totally understandable. But yeah, what do you think?
I don't know. Mine's blank. You've hit me.
I've hit you. Like, let me
Brother,
rephrase.
come back now.
I don't know nothing.
No.
Welcome, Islam. Salam alaikum.
No. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Well, let me rephrase it, okay? Do you recognize how much you have around you? Like, how many blessings you have around you? Let me ask like that.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
My way of...
His way is eating, for example. He never wastes food.
Yes, that's one thing. Yes.
That's one
that
thing
is one
about
thing.
him.
I'll never
Same
waste
with
anything.
Garrus.
That's actually true. Remember we were in that restaurant, was it Afghan? Yeah, Afghan restaurant, and we were saying, I said, oh wow, I'm so full, and there's like grains of rice, and there's probably some child there who's hungry, and Jamie goes, oh, you make me feel guilty now, and then he picks up the plate and just munches the rest of it.
Yeah, that's one thing I do hate. With other stuff, like maybe your possessions, for example, your clothes, let's go with clothes for now. Or your phones or devices like that, your technology. My way of being thankful would be to take good care of it. Same with your shoes. I'd be really careful with them. I wouldn't be all. I'll look after them. I'd keep them at a decent condition at all times. Clean them regularly. Look after my phones. I'll be delicate with them. I won't just throw them around like a rubber toy for your dog or something, or for like a ball. I take really good care of it. Be really delicate with my phones and stuff like that. Clothes I take care of. My shoes I'd wash them, clean them if I needed to. Not wear shoes out on days I shouldn't be wearing them out, so I'd wear the appropriate footwear, appropriate clothes, and I just look after them. That would be my way of appreciating what I have and being thankful, I guess.
Okay, so my follow-up question for you then is, who are you being thankful to?
In those cases with clothes and my possessions that I belong, I'd be thankful towards the people that brought me them, and again how I would be thankful to them and be grateful is to again look after them and not just be reckless.
Okay, fair.
With
So what about the things that you bought yourself with your own money?
So he's thankful
Well,
to
then
the
I'll be-
manufacturer. No, Jamie, yeah.
not
sorry.
no not really, no.
So,
With my own stuff I'd be that little bit more because I bought it myself and it's my own money that I've earned and got, so I'd take that little bit more care of it because it's my own thing now and I can't blame anyone else, so I have to look after it.
but that
'Cause I
feels more
bought it.
like you're being responsible for your stuff, right?
Responsible, yeah.
But you wouldn't be thankful for it. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I
be-
still would be. Yeah, because say with my phone, I'd save up money. You know, not the richest person, so when I buy it, I've saved up and I've worked for it. So again, I take that little bit more care of it because I can't just buy it willy nilly. Like you'd go to a shop and buy a packet of crisps and you wouldn't think nothing of it normally because it's like, oh, that's easy. That's £1 or that's 50p, whatever, or sweets or chewing gum or something. But you have to actually save up. You can feel the, what's the word I'm looking for?
Effort?
No. You know the worth. Is it the worth of the item?
Oh, yeah, the
Something
value.
along those
Value.
lines. The value, that's it, yeah. You know the value of the item. So you look after it and you're like, I'm really good, really thankful I've got this item, so I'm going to take care of it and look after it, basically.
So you're being thankful to yourself, like, in a way, like
Yeah.
being kind to yourself. Let's just say kind or thankful to yourself that, you know, I worked hard for this. I understand how hard it was to get this, right? So similarly to if your mum bought you something, so you'll be like, well, she must have
Yes.
worked really hard to buy that, right? Cool, that
Yep.
makes sense. Now let's rephrase it to, what about the fact that you have functioning organs? Who are you thankful about that? Like, thankful for, I can't speak. Who are you thankful to about that?
That one I haven't actually had a thought about, to be honest. I haven't thought about that much.
Okay, so basically there's like a limit to who we can thank on earth for like what we have, right? So there has to be,
Yeah.
to be honest, I say there has to be, but I'm biased obviously as a Muslim. For you, your thought must be like at times that, oh, okay, so why is
I
my
do
foot
think
doing-
of it, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I would think of it, but I don't know where to direct it, I guess.
Listen,
where did it
so
come from?
you've
How
come to the right
exactly?
place, okay? They call me the director, okay? Listen,
Brother
first
asked a
of all,
very good question.
look, brother
Dude,
asked a very
doctors-
good question. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dr. Zakir Naik vibes. Well, first of all, look, Jamie, on Christmas you were gifted by Gareth a Bible, okay? Now, look, the Bible does have some very interesting and correct answers in there. But you see, the director, me, I am telling you right now, brother, the Bible is only a part of the solution, right? you've stopped halfway. Okay, so you need to go a couple more steps down. We go to this
Yeah.
new book called the Quran. Okay, and the Quran
Astaghfirullah.
is called yes. See, he's already into it. MashaAllah, brother, we've got him. Repent for the sins. No, the Quran is, look, it's a clear book, yeah. And Jamie, right now, and I'm gonna before I make you uncomfortable, yeah. I'm just saying, right now.
We have.
Before I make you more uncomfortable, yeah. Right now, look, that question's popped into your head, yeah. Let's just look at it like that question's popped into your head. You're not ready to look into the answer yet. Fine, cool. You're not ready.
No, I'm not. Not that I'm not ready. I just haven't thought about it.
You haven't thought
I
about
actually
it.
had thought about it properly.
Okay, so when you are ready, from obviously I'm always going to say it from my side, Daniel's going to say it from his side, Gareth will say it from his side, another brother will say it from their side, right? But the main thing is,
is there a way to have all of them combined into one? I might as well just do that then everyone.
Okay, so okay,
everyone.
let's break this down. So to make it simple for you, yeah, religion, the first ever religion is always monotheistic, yeah. And monotheistic means they believe. By the Daniel, yeah, I know you're quiet. Yeah, I'm picking on you next. You get ready, okay? But monotheistic means believing in one being, one God, one thing creating the whole thing, right? So polytheism, in Abrahamic faith, especially Abrahamic faith, is Judaism, so Jewish, Christianity, Christians, and Islam, Muslims. Yeah, these are Abrahamic faith. So these are the, let's just say, the descendants, to simplify, of monotheism, like believing in one God. All these three religions believe in the same God. Okay, with Christianity, there's a bit of biryani, okay, that happened, but mainly all of these three religions, they believe in the same God, okay, and that's Allah, okay. And I say Allah, and you must think Allah, hey, that's the Islamic God. Allah literally means the one who deserves to be worshipped, yeah, the one to worship. So it's just who deserves to be worshipped. So in English we have the word God, so Allah and God is the same word. Do you get where I'm coming from? Don't if I lose you, you let me know, okay? So that's monotheism, okay. So when you say combine, Judaism originally, when Moses, do you know who Moses is?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
So when Moses, he's a prophet in origin, a messenger. When he came, he delivered the message to the people of, I can't remember, it's Bani Israel, yeah. So he delivered the message to those people, and he told them only believe in one God, believe in only one God, believe in only one God, because they all started worshipping humans, yeah, like Pharaoh. You know the Pharaoh?
Yeah.
So that's number one, okay. Then what happened over time? After Moses passed away, what people started doing, they started changing the holy book, which was the Torah at the time, okay? They started changing it, and they're like updating it with stuff because they couldn't accept things, yeah? Jesus came, okay? Jesus came, and he was, in Islam, he's a messenger of God. He was inviting people, hey, don't lose your way, believe in God. And obviously they didn't want to accept him as a prophet and stuff, so they tried to kill him. But in Islam, we believe he wasn't killed. He was raised to heaven, and he will come back one day as well. So Jesus, he was calling again to one God. And if you look at the Bible, you can find that too. He's always calling to one God, his God as well. So Jesus isn't God, he is calling to God. So that's number two. And then the third one, so the Bible, as you know, if you look at the Bible, it's not written by God. It's written by John and Matthew and all these guys, yeah. It's written by them, and it's compiled together. So it's not the word of God anymore. It's been changed. And that's, if you look at history, if you look at Christian kind of belief as well, that's also followed, okay. So it's not written by God. Then the Quran came as the last and final book to kind of, what you said, collect it all together. So the Quran collects it all together to deliver that message one last time, which is there is only one God, okay. And these prophets, be it Moses, be it Jesus, be it Muhammad, be it Solomon, David, you must have heard these names before, right?
Yeah.
So all these names, they're the prophets, they're the messengers of God, and there's only one God, and you should believe in him and worship him, make him happy so you can go heaven and you avoid going to hell. That is the, when you say the combination, Islam is that combination, okay. And I'm not making this up, you can search it for yourself, but Islam is that combination, okay. And so if you look, when that time comes, when you do sit down, when you do get free time to ponder whatever, open the Quran, read the translation for yourself. You don't have to have me there, you don't have to have Daniel there or some Islamic scholar. You read it yourself, see what you think, and then you go from there. But the main thing is, and what I like about you, I like, you know, when we talk off the podcast as well, you have this kind
Yeah.
of open mind where you ask a lot of questions. And the best thing
Yeah.
about you, whether you even pick up the Quran or not, I think asking questions, even for a Muslim like me, I think we always have to ask questions. And if we don't ask questions, I don't think we learn anymore, you know?
You're damned. You're doomed.
You're doomed because you stop learning, okay? And you have to learn, you have to ask questions.
Yeah.
But anyway, long rambling, okay? Apologies if I've bored anyone, but thought it was important. Daniel, okay? Jamie, grab your water. You sit back and relax now. The pressure's off you. Daniel, what is your experience as a, firstly, international human being? Obviously, he's been to half the countries across the globe, lived as a national in all the countries in the world, basically. Lived on a boat, lived on a plane.
Oh,
And
okay. Nice,
know,
nice, nice.
look, brother, I know you are fresh off the boat, but
Oh, okay, okay.
listen, we need, so because you are so fresh off the boat and the plane, we want you to
Yeah.
give us a fresh perspective of, and genuine serious question, yeah, fresh perspective of what is it like to be a Muslim in 2023?
What are we talking about? As in, like,
How does it like affect your
structures,
daily life? Yeah, your structure. How does it affect your daily life? How you work, how you sleep, how you eat, how you play, and how you know travel by boat.
brother? Chill out, man.
Go on.
I mean, right now, yeah, it's kind of hard because most of the players are like almost like an hour. Like, you know, what do you say? Like 1 hour?
An hour apart.
Yeah, 1 hour apart. So yeah, it's kind of long. So you cannot really go. So let's say from like 1:30 to like 4:30 now it is. You're kind of stuck at home in a way if you want to pray your salah on time. It's like if you go outside, yeah, by the time you come back, you're gonna miss at least one or two. If that makes sense.
That is
Huh?
something I can ask. After you finish that, I'll ask. That is another
What do you
question
reckon?
I have. Speaking of questions.
This guy's yo brother.
Sadiq.
I thought Jamie was
Oh,
gonna
no.
ask.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
finish, let you finish, and then I will.
Oh, okay, yeah, go on. Sorry, Daniel, carry on.
Does that
Oh,
make
I'm
sense?
sorry. You were saying, what do I think about the Salah time? Yeah. So, for me as well, the like after I teach a lesson, yeah, we get 15-minute break, and you have to pray in the class. If you don't, imagine you lose your wudu, you have to go to wudu in those tiny sinks. You know what I mean?
That's
It's-
one
it
thing,
is-
yeah. Public toilets. Oh my god. Never me, man.
you know, it's very difficult, especially if they don't accommodate. It's difficult to, because what happens if you ever do miss it, you feel so guilty as well, like, you know, like I chose work over prayer. Over prayer, you know. I'm laughing, but I'm just saying, like, there's this guilt factor, right?
Yeah, therefore.
But at the same time, it's so difficult. You know, there was one job, by the way. I prayed Salah, and you know what you said. There's only like an hour between. I prayed Salah, so I took a 5-minute break to pray. Literally there, I wasn't going anywhere. Yeah, and then the next Salah came, and I asked my manager, "Can I have another 5 minutes? I just need to pray." He goes, "You just prayed though." I was like, "Yeah, there's another one," and he thought I was lying. So he goes, "No, you can't pray." He goes, "You can't pray." So I was like, "All right."
Me?
Then after I
What?
let him go out of the way, and I just prayed in the corner there again, because, do you know what I mean? Like, I have to do what I have to do, and I'm not really. I wasn't causing any inconvenience. It's like closing time. I'm not causing any inconvenience. Like, just leave me alone, man. You know. But Daniel, before Jamie's question, how does, for example, you know, we got Salah. That's one, yeah. What about you know this country where we have so many English kind of norms? Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Norms like music. I'm just giving an example. Music, or certain types of language, right? How do you as a Muslim navigate your way around day-to-day life, like when interacting with non-Muslim people? What's the biggest challenge for you? It sounds so funny, like we're just talking to each other, yeah, but what's the challenge that you face?
I mean, I don't really talk to people like that, first of all. And second of all,
Mashallah, brother, we must
what do
stay
you
strong,
mean?
brothers.
Shut up, man. Well, when
The force
when
is
talking
strong
to
with
the
us.
next white Donny that's in the street, like, first of all, yeah, London is the most unsocial place ever, fam. Everyone is so
Antisocial.
like, yeah.
Have you seen
So,
the faces people make at you?
brother, let's not even talk about that. Anyway, yeah, wait. Let me go back to the point here of praying. When I used to go uni, me and Jamie used to go to Garris. I used to pray there, and there's been like 3 times there. I used to pray like Asr, like last minute, because we had a lesson.
Yeah.
So we had a lesson, and then we'll come back. We'll pray Asr. It will be like the last 10 minutes, and then I'll start praying Maghrib after that. So like 10 minutes, like apart. And Gary's just like, "What? Why do you need to pray so many times?" And I'm like, "Bro, it's because of the timing and stuff."
Do they at uni? Do they have a prayer room or anything?
No, I didn't pray there. I went back to Garris's and then yeah, just prayed
Oh,
there.
so then here's a question, yeah, because I've had to
Yeah.
do this so many times. Would you ever
Yeah.
pray in front of your classmates? Because maybe the lecturer don't let you go out or something. Because that's happened to me. Would you ever pray in front of your
What?
classmates, like in the corner?
Would I do it? I mean, during lesson.
During lesson, because they're not letting you go and you don't want to miss your prayer, right? Or would you opt to just miss the prayer?
First of all, why wouldn't they let you go? In uni, you're talking about.
In uni, they didn't let me go. He
What
thought I
kind
was
of
skipping lessons.
Yes,
So I prayed
uni's
Dhuhr. I prayed
optional
Dhuhr.
anyway.
I prayed Dhuhr, exactly. I prayed Dhuhr, and then after I asked for Asr, yeah, and I was like, so can I leave the class? And he goes, oh, if you leave the class, you're not allowed back in. I was like, what? Why? Like, it's not an exam or something. He wouldn't let me, so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go pray in that corner then. And he goes, do what you like. So I
mean-
prayed. The whole class was just focused on me. Like, what's this guy doing? Up downs, up downs. Because he's standing, then he's bowing, then he's on the floor crying, and he's like kissing the floor. Like, what's he doing?
floor crying.
And so he's, they were all looking at me like weirdo. They're like, and then I finished. And then I finished the prayer, yeah. And then afterwards, I think, like, I go back to my seat nonchalant, yeah. Like, I don't look at anyone. I'm not making a big deal out of it. They all look at me. They're like, Mohammed, what dance was that? Mohammed, what dance was that? And I'm like, I wasn't dancing, man. I was praying. They're like, what is it? And I took some of them to the prayer room, and there's one guy, his name was Adam, yeah? He pretty much Muslim, Adam, but he was like, oh yeah, what's that thing you wear? I used to wear jubba, the thobe, the Islamic Arab, that,
Yeah.
Jamie, you know what I'm talking about, the long dress, that Arab thing. I made you try it on.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, that.
I wore that to uni for
Kurta
the first,
pajama.
at least for the first 2 years, and third year it was patchy because I was sweating and I didn't like wearing it while I was sweating, yeah. So what happened is this guy, like, he saw it and he went and bought one himself and he started wearing it, and I was like, Adam, you converted to Islam. And he was like, no, I've not converted, I'm just trying out. It's like really warm and insulating. So yeah, sorry man, I went off a tangent, but what would you do in that scenario? Would you just walk out of the class and go pray and then come back, or what would
I
you
wouldn't
do?
be in that scenario. If the teacher told me, oh yeah, go, you cannot come back, I'll be like, yeah, sure. Goodbye, man. Because what is he gonna do to me, man? First of all, uni is like you can walk in and walk out whatever time you want because like they couldn't care less.
No, unless you have attendance requirement, innit?
But still, it still counts. Like you're gonna walk in the class here, and then you can walk back out, and then walk in again. Like who is the teacher? What is he gonna do, man? I think he was racist.
Not racist, because
He was. Ask Jimmy, bro. What do you think, Jimmy?
not racist. It's
Who?
maybe he was a bit like
Who?
the teacher, the lecturer.
Okay, let's talk about timing. Okay, how long?
I didn't
so
know.
you asked him, and then after how long? did you ask him
Genuinely,
again?
I had do everything. Oh, timing, yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, let me think back. It must have been November or something, yeah. So I asked. So I prayed Dhuhr. Hold on, let me see this.
Most like that 12,
I
innit?
must have had back-to-back lectures, yeah, and like lessons.
Yeah.
And I prayed Dhuhr, I believe, at 1:15, yeah.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, Asr starts around 2:10 in it, 2:15, something like that. Right?
Yeah.
And so I asked again at 2 things, because the lesson is it's like 3 hours. It's like a lecture and seminar mashed together. Yeah, I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it. That's why he saw that 1 hour gap and he's like, oh yeah, you need to pray again, and he was like questioning it. So okay.
But let's like take it the other way. Yeah. Let's say you went to you ask them, yeah, oh yeah, I need to go toilet, or be like, oh yeah, I'm feeling a bit old today. Just be like, I need to go toilet. Like, what is he gonna say to you, man? Yeah,
No,
yeah,
in
yeah,
that scenario, he wouldn't
you
say
know,
anything, innit?
no, but that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter. What is he
As in,
like?
oh,
What are
as
you
in you're
doing? What are you like? What thing
Yeah.
are you bringing to the table? He's just like doing his lesson. You know, it's not like he's gonna ask you questions and you need to interact with the teachers. And
As in, you're saying basically,
Yeah.
if he, like,
it doesn't
if
make
he
a
wouldn't have
difference of you leaving or staying because it's just a classroom and he's talking. Like in uni, you don't really communicate. If that makes sense, it's not like they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that guy in the back. Can you tell me the answer for this and that?" No.
just a bit of background information. I
Yeah.
studied English, so there's a lot of talking to the teacher.
No, wait. Do they actually ask you questions like, "Oh yeah, son, what's this
It was
about?"
interactive. So I did English, I did film, and I did Spanish. That was first year actually. In second year and beyond, I did English and Spanish. So you have to talk to the teacher and the classmate. You have to talk to everyone basically. So it wasn't like you stay on a computer and you kind of individual work. You actually have to talk in front of everyone.
Long day, man.
Yeah. So maybe that's why.
No, but it still doesn't
Anyway.
make sense. It's like, if you told them, oh yeah, I got a bellyache or whatever, and you need to go toilet in the space of like half an hour, and he would allow you. So why not allow you to pray, which
Then
is
you're-
gonna take you like 10 minutes max?
You had a bellyache. You spent half an hour. I'm so sorry, man. I hope it.
What do you
inshallah,
mean?
I hope it gets
Shut
better
up,
for you
man.
soon. Okay, I'll come back to another question. But Jamie, you had questions for Jamie Danielle, I think.
Yeah, so going back to what I said about your praying is very not regimental, but you've set at specific times.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it in. I don't know how Christians do it. I don't know what their rules or whatever that is. Blah 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 blah. But say, like you're talking about, you have these specific times you need to do these prayers, these ishars, whatever they're called.
Sure.
Ishars is just that's the name of the prayer. It's 5 of them, but yeah.
That and other
Yeah.
them, the others.
Yeah.
If you don't do them at these specific times, like you're talking about, you're in lesson,
Yeah.
or you're out doing stuff at work or with friends or stuff like that. If you don't do them at these specific times, is there like a punishment? Do you get told off? Like, is it gonna basically? Is it bad if you miss it? Basically,
I
is my
mean,
point.
it is bad that you missed it, but at the end of the day, yeah, you can make up for it. So let's say you missed 2 of
You
them.
can make up for it.
For
Okay.
depends the reason. Like for example, work. Yeah, it's like some people they don't allow you to pray. So like, what you meant to do? Like, do you work just to
Yeah.
pray? It's
Yeah.
like you need to think about it financially. So okay, if I go pray, how am I gonna? They might kick me out. So what's gonna happen next?
So you have to set that around your life, basically.
Yeah. What do you think of it?
Okay.
You know, some people would argue that you should set your like obviously I'm not taking the side. I'm just saying some people would argue that you should set your life around the prayers. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. But
No. I agree. As in, you have to
Yeah.
be realistic. Yeah, you can't like
yeah,
imagine the guy's praying and he's taking half an hour, bro, and you're working in front of customers. It doesn't make sense. You know, you have to be a bit more pragmatic about it. Pragmatic meaning be a bit more sensible, right? But Jamie, for example, there's different rules. So let's say so the morning prayer, the daybreak prayer, I guess you call it, is Fajr. Yeah. So Fajr, most people. I say most. I mean, like, if a person misses it, he would most likely miss it because he overslept. Yeah. So in that scenario, if you oversleep, it's okay. But as soon as you wake up, if you go,
You do it.
purify yourself, and then you do the prayer, you're okay. You're okay. Yeah. But let's say someone is deliberately missing a prayer. That's a bad thing. Deliberately missing a prayer. Do you understand? If someone's poorly, if someone's traveling, if someone is traveling a long distance, I'm not saying walking to the shops. Yeah. If someone's traveling a long distance, if someone's poorly, if someone is, they have a genuine reason that they cannot pray. You can't I'm sure Allah's not unrealistic. Do you understand? There's so many different reasons why you might not be able to pray, and it's okay. But someone who deliberately misses prayer because they can't be bothered, can't be asked, things like that, that's a red flag. Do you understand? Like, that's where you get sin for it. And then what Danielle said about like work, it's just about being sensible, like, I'm sure you'd agree. But if you there's a time and a place where you have to decide. Some people will say God is my provider. So if I lose this job because I was praying, then so be it. God will provide for me. And some people will say, no, you have to be realistic. God said to make sure you look after your family and stuff. And if you lose this job, then that's silly. You should have found another way around it. So it really depends on the person as well. Like how deeply they feel connected to stuff as well. I guess it sounds faffy to say it like that, but you know what I mean.
I think it depends where you live, honestly. For example, here, there's no way you're telling me half the people here, they actually pray all these salahs during work time. I don't think. Depends what kind of, like, for example, retail, I don't think most people do. And then, for example, yeah, if you do like an 8-hour shift here, you get half an hour break. And that half an hour break, it's not like you can split it into like be like, oh yeah, let me do 15 minutes now, yeah, then 15 minutes later.
Yeah, it has to be.
They have a specific time for you, and if you don't take that time, then yeah, oh man, no break for you then.
Yeah,
it depends on the person. Let's say your manager is like fine with it, then cool, yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
Well, most people ain't.
Like my one,
Yeah.
like I'm a sore thumb, right? I'm sticking out, but the when I worked at Boots, I actually had an agreement with the manager, like especially winter. That summer you don't need to bother because summer is so spaced out. I can pray when I get home, right?
Yeah.
But in winter, I said to my boss, manager, I said, look, you give me an hour and a half break. Yeah. Let me take the first. Let me chop it up into 45 minutes, and then I think I said, you have to help me on my maths here. Yeah, 45 and 45 is that 1.5 or 1 hour 15? It's 1.5, isn't it?
1 hour
45 and 45 is 90, yeah.
Yeah, so I did 45. So what I would do is the first 45 would be lunchtime. So I said, can I have my lunch? Because I started work at 7 in the morning, yeah? So I said, can I have my lunch between around 12 o'clock to 12:45, yeah? So 12 to 12:45 is my lunch. So that's my dhuhr done. So the afternoon prayer, Jamie, yeah? And then afterwards I said, the other 45, can I have it? So I said, so between Asr and Maghrib, it must have been 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, yeah? So I said, so 2:15 up to, so I said 2:15, give me half an hour. So they gave me half an hour. I said, I just need 15 more minutes right at the end. Just give me that. And the guy, he was all right with it. So you're right. It has to be with your manager, right? Not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
But I've seen people find a way around it. Like those who want to and can, they find a way around it. That's the facts. But in general, like you said, most people. But then, like, I don't want to be really stubborn, but I'm just saying, like, the people who don't pray at work, for example, like, how do I phrase it? When they don't pray at work, it's like, it's because, I don't know, they can't. Do you know what I mean? But then there's some people, obviously, they choose not to pray at work because of the shyness. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, it is awkward. Like, come on,
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to. I don't think.
When
it's sort of shy and think to do it.
Like, I'm proud that I'm Muslim, right? I'm proud that I pray and stuff. But having people look at me while I'm doing the, up, downs, and
strangers,
the dance of the crying on the floor, as they call it, yeah. Like, it's, you have to think about it. Like, it's a bit shy. So I understand why people can't pray at work, because there's that shyness factor to it. But obviously, that's a discussion for another time. All right, let's go.
I was gonna say, wait. Also, one thing, when you do like a job application and stuff, and they ask you, what's your religion and stuff, and you type, like, for example, Muslim, and it's like they're asking us, but I feel like if you're gonna ask us and we're gonna say Muslim, like, have at least like a little place for us to pray, like a prayer room and stuff. Most places don't have that.
You make such a good point. Should I tell you what?
Yeah.
Like,
and also, wait, another bit. It's like, for example, there's like certain products that we cannot touch, like pork and stuff.
Yeah.
And they still make you do it. Like, it's not like, for example, let's say you're on the till, yeah. Like, you come here, you buy like a drink, for example, Lucas and then you got Jamie, and he comes with bacon and Coke, What are you meant to do? So like, I cannot like
handle the
I cannot handle the transaction because I cannot touch pork. It's not it. You get it?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
But there's who me?
I think it's fine, but then on the other side, it's like you
Okay,
did say you're Muslim, but
yeah. Okay.
it's yeah,
We'll. So basically, like, I let me give you an example. I went with my uncle once to
yeah,
he had a restaurant which sold alcohol. Yeah.
yeah,
So I went with him once to Asda, I think it was, and he was buying alcohol for the restaurant, and my
yeah,
cousin was with me as well, and we were loading the stuff into the trolley again to put into the car. But when it came to the alcohol, I just couldn't get myself to touch it. Yeah, and I was much younger by that. I was like year 8, year 9, but I couldn't get myself to touch it. I was like, I'm not gonna touch that. I told my uncle, I was like, uncle, look, I can't touch that. Yeah, and he got moody at me because he was busy and he needed to get it done. Like, and I feel for him, but I just thinking I can't like go against that. Do you know what I mean? I find it difficult. Um, and that's why, what you said, that's a big thing. Like it says equal opportunities, equality and diversity section of the form, and they say, oh yeah, are you Muslim, are you Jewish, are you Hindu, whatever, and you put it, and it's like, I might, that form, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but they have it to show, there's like every year they have a quota to show, hey, look at how many non-white people we have in our workplace. Look how many non-Christian people we have in our workplace. That's why they do it, by the way. Did you know that? It's
hmm
like to meet like a quota, because otherwise they're going to get sued for not being diverse enough or whatever, right? But I just think like the whole point of filling in that form is to be like, okay, how can we accommodate for you? But they never do. That's so true. That's actually so true. Like my place of work, they don't have a prayer place, a proper one. They have this little tiny cupboard in the library, but it's like, what about Jummah, like Friday prayers, which is congregational? They don't have that. We had to kind of book out this one classroom, and we're doing it there. And lots of schools do that as well. But I don't know. That's actually such a good point. Like, you worry about equality. Like, yeah, you're in the workplace, but you don't give equity, meaning what I deserve to have, you're not giving that. So awkward. Very weird. But anyway,
I mean, going
um,
back to the point, yeah. So,
yeah,
for example, you work on the deal, and then someone comes with alcohol and bacon. They should have a thing, yeah. I don't know. This might sound stupid, but first of all, have two people in the deal, yeah. Have one deal, yeah. Like this, like a barrier kind of thing, like a glass, so between you and the customer normally.
yeah, kind of like
Yeah. Why don't
what,
we
for
put like a
COVID? Is it for
side?
COVID?
No, not even COVID. It's more like security kind of. No.
Oh, okay, okay.
Do
And
you know
then
what I'm
what were you
talking
saying?
about? No.
I know what you're talking about. I was just
Yeah, it's mostly for
thinking of something
security.
else.
But what I'm trying to say is, yeah, why don't you put the person, the Muslim person, in that door, yeah, and on top of the thing, yeah, on the glass, for example, but no alcohol, no pork. So whoever comes there, they ain't allowed to buy pork and alcohol. So you ain't trying to process the transaction for them, and then feel guilty afterwards. Does that make sense? But then going to
Companies.
another point, it's like you're not actually selling the thing. You didn't buy it. You're not making money off it. You're just working there because you have to. No.
But then, like, Jamie, by the way, sorry, I'm gonna come to you again, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's like another thing. Then what about that company that you're working for, who's selling alcohol and is paying your wages? They're making that money to pay your wages from alcohol. Do you understand? Like, if you look at it, it's the
Yeah,
knots are
but
tied in all the places. Do you get where I'm coming from?
yeah, fair
So
enough. For example, if you work on like, let's say, I don't know, let's say Asda, yeah, it's not like half of the money is gonna come just from alcohol. There's other stuff as well, but I don't know, man. It's weird. How do you
yeah,
feel about
like
it? Would
like
you?
some of my students used to say, oh yeah, so like, can I work at Tesco, because end of the day Tesco's paying my wages and they make money from alcohol and pork and stuff. The reality, I don't know if everyone would agree with me, but the reality is, look, you need to earn. Yeah, you have to earn money somehow. You have to feed your family, right? If Tesco is the only place hiring you, you go to Tesco, right? And Tesco, look, there's so many other products you're selling and stuff, and end of the day, you're getting paid for your service. You're not getting paid for alcohol. Do you understand?
Yeah,
That's the way I would see it. I'm not trying to legitimize it. I'm just saying the way I'd see it is, I'm spending time here to give customers food and process something through a till and then give them a bag. That's all I'm doing, and they're giving me money for that time that I'm spending there. But I'm not actually giving alcohol to people. Do you understand?
Mhm.
I'm providing a service to help people, assist people, customer assistant. Yeah. So based on that, I would be like, okay, fine. But the
I don't
handling
know,
of
man.
alcohol and
It's
stuff,
weird. We need
the handling
someone's
of
opinion
alcohol.
on here, like comment sections. Do your job, man. We wanna
Yeah,
hear the opinions.
you know what? Yeah,
It's
this
weird,
is
man.
this
I
is a
was
big
thinking
thing. Like,
about it. It's proper weird,
it
man.
is.
It's a
You know what? In the comments, yeah, because this is actually one where you have to think in so many directions. Yeah, it can't just be one or two directions. What do you think in the comments? Like, would you ever, you know, it's not just about working as a customer assistant. When the alcohol comes to you and you need to scan it through, would you do it or would you not do it? Just put that below. Obviously, if you're Muslim, if you're non-Muslim, you're probably thinking, "Who the hell cares?" Right? So, coming back to that, like Jamie, right now, obviously, he's been sat here for however many minutes, and he's like, "Well, it's just alcohol, dudes. It's just beer or it's just whatever." But Jamie, like you must have felt the same way when we were talking about music, remember? I
Yeah,
know you were talking about it earlier, like when we said, so in Muslims we only listen to music which is
the
I,
vocals, just their voices.
so do you know what it is? Yeah, it's not just the vocals. There's like three types
No,
of
you said
music we can listen to. Yeah, so
yeah.
there's one, it's called nasheed. Nasheed is Islamic, not Islamic, it's songs about good things, yeah, like with good meanings and values. That's called nasheed. Yeah, I hope I'm doing this
Yeah,
justice. And then you have Naat. Naat is songs which are praising or like sending blessings or mm, valuing the
showing love
Prophet,
and gratitude.
sharing love to
Yeah,
the Prophet Muhammad. Okay, peace be upon him. And then you have one called Hamd. Say Hamd, by the way.
hummed,
Yeah, see, I want everyone
hummed.
to hear this guy's tajweed. Yeah, Jamie's tajweed is on point. So Hamd, yeah, Hamd is, it's actually Hamd, yeah, but Hamd is, it means to praise God.
Hum.
Yeah, so these are the three
Yeah,
types. And then the rule is you can only listen if it has vocals. And then the only one, some scholars say you're allowed to use, tambourine.
yeah,
A tambourine is like a one-sided drum in it, but it has
yeah.
jingles. So you take the jingles off, and it's just a one-sided drum. So it's called a duff. Yeah. So you're allowed to use a duff,
Duff.
but some people don't agree with that. And then obviously you can't have any other instruments. And those are the only three types of songs that you're allowed to listen to. Okay, that's the general rule around music. So when you hear
Uh huh.
that, what is going on in your brain about that? Like, would you be able to just like, not listen to music at all? Walk us through it.
Doing it forever? No. Like I can manage it. I've done it with Daniel in the car plenty of times. He'd give me his aux cable, and he let me pick whatever songs I wanted, whatever songs I liked, but they had to be what you had to do
Acapella
the a
only.
cappella version. Yes, it's just their voices.
And also not explicit. Like, like Cardi B
Nothing.
and shit.
Yeah, none of that nasty.
Yeah.
I can manage it. I did manage it every time. Sometimes some of the songs, depending on what songs it was better. But then other songs it wasn't. So there was a divide. Some of them were good, some of them were worse, in my opinion. The a cappella versions, but like say today is the last day I can listen to music normally, and tomorrow onwards forever I can only listen to a cappella. Basically, I wouldn't be able to because
Okay.
some songs almost are they're good with all the beats and the instruments and stuff, but some songs as well are good, if not better, just a cappella.
Okay, I wanted to ask you a follow-up
So there's a
question to that, yeah?
divide, 50-50. Yeah.
But let me ask this first, okay? Um, why? But it's not an attack, yeah. I just want your opinion. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
do you need music in your life? Can you live without music at all? Forget a cappella and anything. Can you
Just
live
music
without
in
music?
general.
Yeah, just in
Me
general.
personally, no.
Why is that? If you want to share.
Music to me, there's many couple things. There's one side to it, which is almost like therapy. Like people have, I don't know, they go for walks or they have um, videos or things on in the background of either like, that stuff like white noise and green noise and all that stuff. And then people have sounds of rain or thunder,
Meditation, bro. Talk about that
meditation
when
as
you play
well.
the movie.
Me is music. just something about it, music. Yeah. So there's that part of it, and just whenever I'm in a mood, no matter what mood you're in, music can be there to either. I guess sometimes it can be bad, but most of the time, maybe to say 75-70% of the time, music for me is beneficial. It's a good thing for me, and it helps me out. And it's just I like it because I like dancing and I like moving around. I can't sit still, so music helps. Music's I need music in my life basically, and I don't see anything at the moment. I don't see any negative things towards music, other than say the nasty songs like you said, Cardi B and them things. Other than them things, like actual good, quote unquote, good music. I don't see nothing wrong with it at this moment in my life, so I'm gonna stick with it. Still
I
have
remember
music
when
in
we
my
talked
life.
about how like music impacts your driving
Yeah,
and anger issues as well.
yeah. Well, for me, I don't get angry very quickly. I ain't got a short fuse. It takes me a while. I've always said, I don't know if I've said it to you, but I've said it to other people. I'm like a kettle or a volcano. You have to wait, and I have to build up before I erupt, so to speak. Or like a kettle, you have to wait for me to boil. I don't just get hot straight away. You have to sit there and wait a while for it to get hot. So for me, I won't get angry that easily. So that's not an issue for me. Again, personally, that's not an issue.
I mean, for me, it's a big issue. Have you
For you,
seen
it's
my
an
Why-
road
why-
issue, yeah. So
rage?
you won't be able to.
Why is it
Yeah.
an issue for you, Daniel?
Road rage, fam. So basically, you know when you play music and stuff, yeah, you're in the mood, and you have this thing about you, and if something happens, even the smallest thing when you're driving, it just like gets you angry in a way, depending on what kind of song you're listening to.
Well, I guess
So-
in that case, then you can have like specific car playlists. You know, relaxing, calm, slow songs. You wouldn't have like upbeat, like rock music, for example. Like you wouldn't survive. You'd crash because that's like angry music, if you will. So for that, I guess you could have specific set playlists, or just not have music in a car. Then I guess, but there is ways around it.
Yeah, but then there was this one point I made, yeah, a long time ago. Do you know Lil Nas, the song? What song was it again?
Yeah, that was some messed.
The one I
Uh,
sing,
Call Me by
Montero.
Yeah, that one there.
that one.
I was talking to Jamie about this. Yeah, we was going to Garris for uni, and I was like, "How would you feel, yeah, if you had a crash, yeah, and you're
Yeah.
dead basically, and that
Deep.
song is playing?
Deep. It's deep. That is actually deep.
by."
And you know what? Like, okay, forget the song. Yeah, like the actual video itself is so weird. I just think, I don't know, like, what are they trying to do in it? But again, that's it's topic for another day. But you know, Jamie, you said one thing I want to come back on, innit? You know, you said that I wouldn't be able to one day just switch off and go into a cappella only, right? From listening to music with beats. So Muslim people or people who let go of music, usually Muslim people basically who want to let go of music, what they do is there's these Islamic songs, but they have beats in it as well. They have instruments and beats. So what they do is first they hook onto that, and then after that they move on to listen to a cappella. So if you and we won't discuss, you know, the all the components of that anyway, but just saying, if you were to do it like that, what do you think? Would you be able to?
I don't know.
No? Yeah, you don't know until you've seen it yourself or done it.
I think
I
it's really
I don't know
hard,
if I'd
bro.
do it. I don't
It's really hard if you like relate to songs. Let's say you don't really talk to people, and you're like half of the time you're just like, for example, gaming. Yeah, you're addicted to it because it brings you some kind of like what you call it, relief or like some kind of enjoyment, and you can relate to it as well. And if like you don't need to talk to someone, and you're so in a mood. If that makes sense. For example, if you go to a gym, yeah, and you have no one to talk to, and you play music, and you're just in your own zone, and you just do you, and you couldn't care less about anyone else. You just come home and boom.
Jamie, you know, this whole time, for example, we talked about, and it's so funny actually. I just realized something. You know, we said about culture, ethnicity, and stuff, but we've been focused
Yeah.
mostly on religion the whole time.
Yeah.
But one thing like I wanted to ask to get your perspective, yeah, you know, because
Yeah.
you said you're atheist, right? Not Christian,
Yeah.
right? So meaning in some way, and I don't want to sound very overgeneralizing, yeah, but you don't have a core set of beliefs or principles, right? Like, you know how our principles are derived from the Quran and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, how he acted, right? So you don't really
Yeah.
derive it from anywhere, right? Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah. I guess
Okay,
so.
so I don't want to go into that obviously today, but I'm just saying, you know, when we speak about like music, or we can't listen to music, we can't, engage with alcohol, let's just say, etc., etc. We have to pray. Sometimes does it feel like these guys are doing too much and not doing anything?
Well, me, like, I'm not doing anything, or you're doing
And
too much. Is that
like
what
you
you mean?
guys are doing too much. Like you always engage in some sort of. You have to think about stuff. You have to do stuff too much. Like you're always having to do something. Like does it feel like that, or does it not? It doesn't feel like that.
Which one? Which way round is it? Is it me thinking you doing too much? You're
Yeah,
thinking I'm
yeah.
doing too much. Me
That you
thinking you
think.
doing too much.
Yeah.
No, no, I don't think that.
So how does it come across that, like, does it come across that these guys are so restricted, or they have to, nothing like that? Never.
Yeah, but I don't take it. I don't think of it in a bad way. It's like a good
No,
thing.
no, no, no. It doesn't have to be bad. Just like in general, like when you think about it, does it?
No, I don't really think you lot do. You're doing too much. You got your own. Not. You got your own thing that you do, your own beliefs, and you follow them to keep a good life. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, we've spoken for quite a while today, and quite interesting topics. And hopefully in future podcasts we'll probably delve into each other's lifestyles a bit more. But for today, I think. What do you think, Daniel? We covered quite a few, quite a few controversial topics there.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, speaking of controversy,
Hmm.
before we go, I
Yeah.
wanted to hear a quote of the week. Hopefully, it doesn't cause any controversy, but a quote of the week. So, the quote of the week this week is "Only when weak may I carry my true strength." But anyway, uh, once again, wanted to say to all of our listeners, both on Spotify and YouTube, thank you very much. We've got 22 subscribers now, and our last week's video blew up. I say blew up like it's got a million views, but it blew up 100 views. For us, that's a big deal. One thing we've noticed though is that there are a lot of people who are watching but are not subscribed. Don't do that. Subscribe and make sure to like, and don't be shy. Make sure to share it with those who haven't heard of us before. Okay, share it. And yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Hope everyone
Let me say
is
something.
have absolutely.
If you heard me
What's up?
waffling, yeah, just bear in mind I only had 4 hours sleep, yeah, so my brain wasn't really working.
Okay,
Just want to
so
put it out there.
I mean, technically he waffles anyway, but yes,
What?
do keep that
Shut
in
man,
mind.
you fish.
And um, well, it's been fun, guys. But until next time, and next week rather. Hope everyone has a good time, and see you next time.